MMA is back, man, with the stat card, UFC 284, MMA locker room here. Got my co-host Brad Wins Best. How you doing, my man? What's your timestamp?
I'm doing good, brother. 5:12 p.m. Mountain Time over here, man. Just another day. I hope some people join in from the drive-through. You guys had a nice little drive-through. I like the little debates in there and shit like that. I enjoy that. How you doing today?
Oh man, doing good, man. Can't believe it, man. Some people got the nerve thinking that the Kings gonna fall all the way off, man. Like
No, they're gonna
I
fall
get it,
though.
they gonna fall, but I mean, dang, like they talking about the play-in and stuff. They talking about the Lakers going all the way to the top three and stuff. I mean, come on now, but I'm all
It
for it.
should be interesting. That Western Conference is fire, but I mean, personally, bro, I got the Bucks to win it all. That's been my squad. They've been winning games for me all season, so I think Giannis is the truth, and they win the finals. Personally,
Man, and the East is so easy now.
East is easy. Yeah.
The East is so easy. It was like you
hmm
had Toronto to compete with. You had the Nets to compete with. Now it's like you only really got Boston to compete with pretty much in the East. So yeah, to
Yeah.
me, it's definitely going to come down to those two teams. Don't sleep on them Nuggets though, man.
Hey.
If they
Yeah.
get healthy, man, I actually think that that's one of the deeper teams that have
hmm
like that consistency and chemistry, players that have been playing together for a while. And, and they got a superstar core to where, to me, honestly, it's Porter. If Porter would be healthy for 2 years straight and just show like, look, man, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm taking it in the next 2 years. That's the thing that kind of puts it over the limit. And like he hasn't been able to play a consistent full year yet, to actually show that growth and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, Jamal and Jokic is going to take off, but if you add that third piece with Porter, and yeah, that Western Conference is just fucking brutal. Whoever's going to make it to the finals, they're going to have to go through just wars after wars. So, I mean, those Eastern Conference teams, Bucks or Celtics, I mean, I don't know, they're going to be the fresher team in my opinion.
But
But shit,
what
bro.
was it though? So
hmm
so the people on the East Coast they just was like, hey, I'm done with it, right? I'm just moving to the West. Kyrie to the Mavs, KD to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, that's just crazy. Everybody trying to come over to the West Coast, the best coast, right, Brad?
Exactly. Hey, I'm an East Coast boy originally, but I'm on the West Coast now too, so I kind of feel it.
Got it,
I
man.
like
So
the
so
West
so
Coast.
last week, man, what happened in last week's UFC card, man? You remember anything on the main event? Remember that one guy that everybody likes to bet on, and I try to tell him to save your money on, don't do it. Derek Lewis, yeah, man, he
Yeah.
got he got finished real quick, just like he was supposed to in the first round. So that was the main card on there. Then you had some other entertaining fights on there. You had Marcin Tybura on the card. But ended up going 3-1 last week on my MMA bets. Went 2-0 on Bellator and went 1-1 on UFC. So, I was able to cover the Bellator event there. Fedor's last fight versus Ryan Bader. Johnny Eblen on the co-main event defending his title. Yeah, it was a profitable week for us last week. So we back this week trying to do the same damn thing with UFC 284. How you feel about this card, Brad?
It's cool, man. I mean, it's not getting enough love, I would say. The main event is exciting. You got the pound for pound best fighter in the world, and Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam, who everyone thinks is like the next Khabib, the next big thing. I think this is going to be a great fight. I think a lot of people think Islam's just going to come in here and just sweep Volkanovski up, but it's just going to be closer than a lot of people are thinking, in my opinion. And then, of course, the co-main event. Not a lot of people are talking about this fight either, but they should be. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. That shit's going to be a banger. I mean, these guys bring the fight every time they fight. It's going to be a stand-up war. So, yeah, it's a cool card. I mean, it's not going to blow you away. It's nothing too crazy, but I like it.
Yeah, it's going down in Australia, Perth. So you got a lot of Aussies on that card. So a lot of people find on the card. A lot of people ain't familiar with for one. Because the people from the U.S. that's flying out, a lot of people don't like traveling like that because it's a hell of a trip to get out there. So some of the people on the prelims you guys probably won't know, but some people on the main card you guys probably won't know. But we're just gonna go over the best plays on the main card for you guys, and give you guys our best underdog, give you guys our best prop, give you guys our best parlay to get you on top, and see how we can make some money. But just to go over some of the names that's fighting on the prelims that some fighters might be aware of. Loma Boomy, she's fighting on the prelims. You got Jamie Malarkey. You got newcomer Clayton Rodriguez. You got Joshua Calabo. You got Tyson Pedro fighting on the prelims as well. And then also too, you got Zabir Targov. That's that Russian guy who pretty much is the biggest favorite on the card. So those are the guys that's pretty much fighting on the prelims. Nothing really sticks out to me too much on there besides this Clayton Rodriguez fight. Made his debut on the Contender Series. He's going to be facing Shane Ross. And then I also like the Melsic Bardasarian fight versus Joshua Calabal. To me, I think that's going to be a good one too. Um, Actually got a premium on that play. And then the Tyson Pedro and Modestas Bukalkis fight. How do you feel about that? Because Modestas just got back into the UFC. He was in the UFC prior. Then he went to Cage Wars and got 2 wins. And then now, they're calling him to get his name back into the cage. How do you feel he's going to do against Tyson Pedro? Before
I
I
think it.
before
Mhm.
you answer that, do you know that Tyson Pedro opened up a -1,000 favorite, and then somebody bet or some type of error got corrected, and then he went
Mhm.
all the way down to a -230. But he sat at
Damn.
a -1,000 favorite for an hour or two.
That's fucking wild. I mean, I think it's gonna be tough fight for Bukakas. I mean, like Tyson Pedro, he's a beast. He had that long layoff. He looked really good in his last fight. I mean, I like a little prop bet here. I think Tyson Pedro first round KO at +410. He has 12 professional fights. 10 of those have ended in the first round. So, he gets out there, he gets the job done quick, and I think he's going to have an upper hand here on his home turf. So, I like those +410 odds for him to finish in the first round.
Damn. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely like a hell of a prop to start off the night. If you start that
Yeah,
off for your first bet to win, you're pretty much free rolling. For the rest of the night, right?
yeah. It's a little sprinkle though. Don't go too crazy, but it's a little sprinkle.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right, go ahead, man. You know who's kicking off the main card?
Yes, sir. We got Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. Who you feeling in this one?
Man, Jimmy Crew coming in 12 wins, 3 losses. Versus Alonzo Manfield, 13 wins and 3 losses. The betting lines, Jimmy Crew opened up like a -210. Now he came down to a -185 favorite on there. Jimmy's Crew, last time seeing him in the ring, it's been about like 14 months now. And when his last time was in there, he got knocked out by the champ, Jamal Hill. Before that, he was fighting Anthony Smith. And the fight I remember dearly to my heart. I put a lot of money on Jimmy Crute. I think it was like -140, -160 at the max, I want to say. Might have closed at -170 by the time it ended. But in that fight, he ended up rolling his ankle or something happened to his foot and his nerve. And, the ref had to stop the fight after round one. But in that fight, he wasn't doing anything that he was supposed to be doing, and the reason why I bet him wasn't going for any takedowns, wasn't using smart footwork, wasn't using the right fight IQ. All right, cool. Rolls his ankle, whatever happens. Comes out next fight against Jamal Hill. Oh yeah, man. Jamal Hill's coming off that loss against Paul Craig. You know Jimmy Cruz gonna take him down. You know he is, right? You know it. All right, cool, man. Let's bet on you again. All right, man. You definitely gonna get this one, right? Man, it gets starched in 45 seconds of the first round. Was just standing up there, acting like he could actually strike with Jamal Hill. The reason why I'm sharing those thoughts right there is just to let you know the fight IQ of Jimmy Crute and the last 2 fights is not all there. But how he was when he made his debut in 2018 on the Contender Series was way different. He was a monster. He had that tenacity in a fighter that you want. When it comes down to it, he has 2 wins by Kimura, 3 wins by KO, all in round one. So he definitely packs a punch and a power, and he's definitely going for the finish when he fights in there. But as of late, like I said, I don't know what it is, but it's just not the same thing that I'm seeing from Jimmy Crute in his first couple of fights in the UFC. On the other field, you got Alonzo Manfield. Man, he's currently on a 2-fight win streak right now. But if you look at the level of opponents that he's fought, it's definitely not that good. And the caliber is not the same. If you look at the fight resume of Jimmy Crute, I mean, he fought the who's who already, so I got to go with the better resume with Jimmy Crute. Alonzo Manifield, he has bad fundamentals, throws a lot of loopy punches. Typical wrestler. When he wants to wrestle, he can wrestle at that. One of those guys, big muscles, so he tends to slow down as the fight goes. But doesn't really have the best fight IQ either. So in this fight, it's kind of really hard to get behind any of these fighters because Jimmy Cruz, like I said, is coming off a 14-month layoff, and I think he had a torn ACL too. So you got to see how is he gonna go out there and want to fight? How is he gonna go out there and want to strike? Why? Because the last time he was in the cage, he got finished. The other time before that, he rolled his ankle. So fighters are always going to be hesitant in there. Lonzo Benefield left his camp at Team Fortis, I want to say. Now he's over there with Pat Barry. And I was brought this up last time, and I thought it was gonna be like a whole different like Alonzo Manfield to where it's just gonna look bad, but he's looking a little bit better and improved over there training with Pat Barry. So my best bet in this fight is to not bet this fight. But if you ask me who's gonna win, I'm gonna go with Jimmy Crew.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a safe play here. I don't think the odds should be this wide. I don't know why Jimmy Cruz is this big of a favorite personally. Like you said, he hasn't looked that great in his last two fights, and Minifield on a two-fight winning streak. I'm leaning Cruz here as well, but like you said, the risk is just not worth it to take a guy who just hasn't looked that great coming off that injury. So if I'm gonna bet this fight, I want good returns, and I saw Jimmy Cruz via decision plus 500, maybe a little sprinkle on that. I mean, both these guys, they are finishers. If you look at their shirt dog, I mean, they finish the fight. So it's a risky play, but I think there's value there. Crute may start off slow since he had took that layoff, but to get plus 500 to get the favorite to win by decision isn't too bad. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking at that really caught my eye on this fight.
Yeah. And I'll say one other thing on there. I do think this fight is not going to go to the scorecards, but I do think it will last. I, I'm hesitant to say 10 minutes, but I think round two will definitely start in here. So for the people that's probably playing the under 1.5, you still might be safe, but I definitely don't think this is going to the scorecards in there. So I would say the best prop for this one to play would be to play fight not go the distance.
Might not go the distance. That's
Yep.
that's minus 450, which is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like this
yeah,
fight's
yeah,
probably gonna end in
yeah,
the finish.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
It's a tough fight to pick. It's a weird one. I
It's a
think the
weird
odds
one
are
because, like I said,
yeah,
both fighters got that low IQ, and it's just kind of like, all right, who can you really trust? Because I'll be honest, man. The level of competition that Alonzo Manfield that he's won against is not good at all.
yeah,
Ooh, excuse me. But the people that he lost against are good caliber fighters. So it's one of those
hmm
things too, to where he has that look, and you think, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna be able to go out there and punch and throw. But man, when he punches, I'm trying to tell you, man, it looks herky jerky. It's loopy and stuff. It doesn't look. It's definitely not technical at all. So definitely, man, I wouldn't be spending too much time on that fight, even though it is the first fight on the main card.
for sure. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got a heavyweight match here: Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. How you feeling this one?
Man, Justin Tafa 5-3, taking on Parker Porter 13-7. Heavyweight fight going down. When it comes down to it, man, it's gonna be a sloppy fight on here. But I do think one fighter in here is superior and has better skills than the other fighter. I'll let y'all decide who that is. One fighter. Let's get down to the opening odds. Pretty much, I think it was Justin Tafa opened up at a minus 110. Now he's at a minus 115. Come back on Park Reporters roughly around like a plus 100 on there. One of these fighters fought John Jones. Let you figure that out. All right. One of these fighters, has a loss to Almeida and Chris Dawkins. The other fighter has lost to people to where I can't even look them up because they don't even fight in the UFC no more. So when it comes down to it, the fight style, I got to go with Parker Porter, man, with his boxing. He has good combos, and, he could actually use the takedowns to set it up, too. When it comes with the fight resume, got to go with Parker as well. Like I said, man, he fought John Jones. He didn't win, but he fought John Jones. So when it comes to the striking, though, I will go with Tafa in that one. He has like a deadly left hook sometimes. If he's able to set it up, he can catch you on there. When it goes with the cardio, I'm going with Parker. He has a gas tank, real durable. Seen him push the pace, doesn't slow down. This guy is like 400 pounds, looks like Butterbean out there. But he doesn't fight like that at all, man. His footwork is real good. You know, for a heavy set guy, he has great combos. He has good footwork. You know, he has good head movement too. When it comes down to the wrestling, I'm gonna go with Parker too, man. He's good in the clinch. So I mean, just based off my MMA grades, you can really see the way that I'm leaning, Brad.
Yep. No, no, I feel you on that. I feel like every like UFC pay-per-view has a fight like this, a mediocre heavyweight fight. I think like they just try to put two big guys in there just to like, try to catch the casuals' eyes. And that's what we got here. I mean, Justin Taffa, Parker Porter. It's like, how is this on the main card really? But it should be
Man,
it should be an interesting one. And I feel like I've seen Justin Taffa fight so many times, but he only has 8 professional fights. It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
I feel like I always see his ass, but it's because they give
Nah,
him these.
they
Yeah.
brought him out. I think when COVID was happening, and then after he took those losses, they set him back. And then this is the reason why he's only fighting on this card, Brad, is because they signed his younger brother. Okay, and his younger brother was supposed to fight on this card, but that fight got pulled. So they're like, all right, your younger brother is this hot prospect. Of course, all right, yeah, we're gonna put you on the card too. So it's
Hmm.
really just kind of one of those two. And plus, he's an Aussie or he's from New Zealand or something like
Yep.
that. So that's why you have a lot of these fighters on this card too. It's just because it is in Australia, so if they have any Australian backgrounds or anything like that, it's like, all right, man, put them on the card.
Exactly. Yeah, not totally. And I mean, I agree with you though. I am leaning Parker Porter in this one. I think he has more ways to win this fight. Justin Taffa, he's got that power. If Parker Porter could avoid the KO in the first round, I think he could win this fight no problem. He has a better grappling skills, and he's decent on the feet. He just has to avoid that big shot. So the fact that you get Parker Porter, and what is it right here, plus 105 plus money, I think that's a solid play here. I am not putting any money on Justin Taffa. There's no way.
Hey,
No
nah,
way at all.
I actually like that a lot too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Side note, but so on this fight right here, do you think it's gonna go? Because I'm looking at a prop right now. You got it going over 2.5, or you got it going under 2.5?
With this side, I mean, the under 2.5 minus 150 around there. I don't love that, but I think it does go under. Just with the guys with this much power and this much
Right,
size, it's hard to
right,
hold that
right.
stamina.
Me
Um,
too. Me
yeah,
too.
they get one of
I
these guys are
like
gonna
it.
get tired. So
Exactly, bro.
yeah.
I like the under in there, and just seeing where it's at. Exactly, it's at 156 or whatever, 150. It's
Hmm.
like, yeah, like okay, you're not laying minus 190 2-1 on a bet, damn near, to
Yeah.
hit. And like I said, this is the thing, like Tafa is kind of like if he doesn't get you in the first round, he's gonna slow down and he's gonna get dropped.
Yeah.
So Parker Porter, I'm trying to tell you, man, like I just remember this guy to where was poking fun of him, making fun of him and stuff, and I was like, bro, this dude's out there fighting. This dude's out there fighting. And then after his like second fight, I was like, oh, he's fighting him. All right, cool. I'm betting on him. Oh, he's fighting him. Oh, I'm betting on him. I mean, the people that Parker Porter beat too. Don't get me wrong. It's nobody to glam about, but he's getting it done. So yeah, man. Like yeah, so actually, yeah, that under 2.5 at that minus 150 ain't a bad way to play it.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, let's roll on. This next fight, I'm actually pretty pumped about. We got Jack Maddalena versus Randy Brown. I fuck with Jack Maddalena. I think he's the truth. Who you got on this one?
Man, Randy Brown, 16-4, coming in. Jack Maladena, Della Madonna, whatever y'all want to say it. We just call him Jack Della in the hood. It's all good. All right, man. 13 wins, 2 losses. Made his debut on the Contender Series, 3 fights in the UFC. Let's get down to the gambling odds because that's what they're here for. Opened up a big favorite, minus 325. Pretty much stayed around that line. Now he's at a minus 315, minus 320 pretty much on the gambling odds out there. Coming off of one impressive win against Amiv, somebody that he thought, okay, let's see how he does with the takedowns. He was able to shake off all the takedowns, but besides that, really hasn't fought anybody in the UFC yet. So I'm not going to glam about his opponents or anything like that. But one thing I'm going to glam about is his goddamn skills. Top tier striker when it comes down to a good cardio, good takedown defense, great value. He's good at mixing it up, low jab, high cross, could do it all pretty much. And he's one of those fighters. He don't get rattled. Doesn't matter what's going on out there. He just seems like it's just another day, just going through the motions. One thing I love about him, he loves to work the body out there. So his fight IQ got to go with the B. But on the other side, man, he's fighting a guy on a 4-fight win streak, with only 3 losses in the UFC. One to Bilal Muhammad, the other to Vicente Luque, the other to Nico Price on a fluke knockout. Randy Brown, man, fight resume, got to go with him in this one when it comes to the advantage. He has a good jab, good leg kick, high knees, likes to use the elbows, likes to mix it up when he can. But tends to showboat in there sometimes, so he can give up a round, if he's taunting his opponent, tends to go to decision a lot of fights too. So doesn't always look for that one-shot kill deal. The odds is disrespectful if you ask me though. How can it be this high on a guy who, only fought bums in the UFC minus one person? And, this guy's on a 4-fight win streak. So I'm on Jack. I got a parlay with him. Anybody betting on Randy Brown, I ain't mad at you, man. I even influenced you to damn near, man, or something. I ain't mad at it, man, because like I said, depending on who Randy Brown was fighting, I think he was fighting Chaos Williams. I didn't like the way that he was moving in there certain rounds. He was doing like little stuff where I thought he was showboating. Then it was one other opponent. I want to say it was for Francisco Trinaldo, who
Hmm.
he recently just fought. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Della in this one. I'm gonna go with Jack
Hmm.
Della to get it inside the distance as well. So I'm on Jack right here.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, this is a fight I'm excited for. Like I said, it's a high level fight, and both these guys are on crazy runs. I mean, both these guys are hot right now. I do like Jack Della as well. I got him as a parlay piece for sure. I also like him to win inside the distance at minus 120 if you just want to bet this fight simply without a parlay piece. Like you said, I mean, laying this much odds on just a straight up bet, I wouldn't do that personally. But Jack Della, he's on a 3 fight. His last 3 fights ended from TKO. So he's hot. He's finishing fights. His stand up is crazy. So I think Randy's chance of winning this fight if he makes it a dirty fight, uses his grappling, clinches him up, gets him against a cage, a style like that. But if he stands up with Jack Della here, I think it's going to be a tough night for Randy Brown. So I'll take Madalena parlay piece or wins inside the distance at minus 120.
I see the odds makers on this though. How you feel about this? They pretty much see it like the same. They got the under 2.5 at like a minus 150. So
Yep.
all right. So let me ask you though, because
Mm-hmm.
we gotta kind of like it because we're playing Jack wins inside the distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the difference on that is we're getting Jack inside the distance at like a minus 120, and we're getting 2.5 more minutes on there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it would kind of be like, yeah, all right. Like I kind of like the under 2.5 at minus 150, but I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
don't I definitely don't see this going to distance, but it's yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. That could be a play. I mean, you pay a little more juice, but I mean, if let's say Randy Brown finishes him on some shit, like then you still would cash out. So that's definitely a smarter play. I'm not mad at it, honestly.
Cause Jack has been subbed before, and one thing Randy Brown is good at is those submissions. So
Hmm.
that's one thing I did look at too in there. Where I was like, all right, let me see how Jack's lost before. All right, cool. Let me see how Randy Brown's choked out and won before. So I mean, to me, I think that would be the area to where, like if Randy Brown is smart and goes in there and he's like, all right, I'm going to fight you the way I want to fight instead of reacting to you. If you're
Hmm.
reacting to Jack, you're 2 steps back. But this is how I also see it too, man. Randy Brown is so fragile, bro. And it's like he's so fragile to where I could just see him getting hit a couple of times and then just like folded up like that lawn chair that you're putting at the beach picnic. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, Randy, let's go.
Yeah, nah. I don't know. I like. I'm looking at that under 2.5, and that may be
Right.
the play there. Honestly, yeah. I may pay that extra juice to get that in. So no, I feel that it's gonna be a good fight though. I'm pumped for that one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good fight, man. I think that's going to be the people's fight of the night on the card.
Yep. And this fight could easily be the people's fight as well. Co-main event: Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett, featherweight interim title fight. Yeah, man, give us the breakdown on this one.
Man, Yair Rodriguez coming in 14 wins, 3 losses. Had the Pride of Mexico behind him, taking on Josh Emmett. 18 wins, 2 losses. Got Sacramento behind him. Team Alpha Male. Josh Emmett's one of those guys. I think he's on a 6 or 7 fight win streak. But he's one of those guys to where you really wouldn't know that he was even a UFC fighter if you've seen him out there at the grocery store or if you just seen him on TV. Why he just has that type of composure, doesn't have a personality that anybody will remember. But one thing he does have to remember, man, he has the most knockdowns in the division. I don't know the number because I ain't here for all that, but he has the most knockdowns in the whole division. So that means that he's definitely carrying that punch and that power, able to put anybody on the ground at any time. This guy had, I think, his knee damaged bad against Shane Burgos. Only thing Shane Burgos had to do is kick it a couple of more times. He kept kicking it, kept going out. What did he do? That was in like the ending of the first round. He fought the whole fight and finished him, I think, in that, so, or else he was able to get the judge's decision. The point being is this, man. Whenever he's jeopardized in a fight, doesn't matter. He pulls through. You seen his last fight against Calvin Kattar. His eye looked like Cyclops. What'd he do? He pulled through. So, he's one of those fighters to where mm, he doesn't fight the smartest way because he can also go for those takedowns, but he never does. Um, but the strikes are there. He has great volume too. Goes for like 120 strikes per fight sometimes, so it's not just that one punch KO power fighter guy that he's looking for. On the other side, man, you got Yair Rodriguez, man. He's just a unicorn when it comes to martial arts and MMA. He does things that you ain't never seen in the cage or a ring. One of the best fights I've ever seen was Yair Rodriguez versus Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy. Martial arts was on a display at a high level in there, man. I recommend everybody to see that. Instead of that, the Korean zombie fight where he was getting beat up the whole fight, and he just pulled that spinning elbow, and it's amazing. That one amazing moment. That Yair Rodriguez and Bruce Leroy fight was one of the best out there. Let's get down to the gambling odds. All right, Yair Rodriguez opened up at a -160s all the way up to a -185. Come back on Josh Emmett. Anywhere from I think +140 out there to +155. I'll be honest, man. In this one, I got a premium play. So I ain't got too much to say, man.
I could
Besides
take
that
it.
little
I could give
breakdown.
you a pick. Yeah, I got you guys, man. I mean, look, this fight isn't getting enough love. I feel like this is going to be an absolute banger. I mean, Josh Emmett on a hell of a run, 5-fight winning streak, 9-2 in the UFC, and I'm gonna roll with Josh Emmett. I think these odds should have been a little closer, in my opinion. Josh Emmett, you can get him at what +160 or whatever. I actually like him to sprinkle a little on him getting the KO win. Yair Rodriguez has lost 3 fights in his professional career. 2 of those were by KO, so he's been slept before. If this fight ends in a decision, I think Yair will win this fight. I think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to provide more volume and things like that. But just that power with Josh Emmett, I think he's going to catch Yair with a bomb. Yair is known for getting into wars. Like you said, the Bruce Leroy fight or the Korean Zombie fight. You can't fight that way against Josh Emmett. If you stay in the pocket too long, you're going to get clipped with something, and no one could eat a full Josh Emmett shot. Straight up, pause. But yeah, I'm liking I'm liking Josh Emmett though. Underdog pick. Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a crazy one, but yeah, I think you take the dog here and to fight that. I think it's just too close. So give me Josh Emmett.
Got it. Hell yeah. I like the way that sound. Go on to the next one. Talk about the main event for 1 second, man. 1 second.
Yep.
Just got to mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, and main event here. I mean, Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. This fight, I mean, you got the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, Alexander Volkanovski, when it comes to the rankings. I don't think he's getting enough love in this one. I think a lot of people think Islam's just going to come in here and wrestle his ass and just work him. But I think this is going to be a much closer fight than a lot of people think. Of course, Islam Makhachev, he looked flawless in his last fight against Charles Oliveira. When it comes to the odds here, let's see where we're at now. I mean, on DraftKings, we got Volkanovski at a +310, Islam at a -380. So yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, Islam's one of the biggest favorites on this card, going against the #1 pound for pound fighter. So, like I said,
Man,
I think
that's
these odds are a
crazy.
little crazy.
Man, the odds are crazy, man. Just for the simple fact of this, man. You got an undefeated fighter, who hasn't lost since ever in the UFC. Besides that, he's literally the best pound for pound #1 fighter in the world right now, and you're giving him +300. I get it. I get it. It's probably because it's moving up to a different weight class, right? Cool.
Mhm.
Let me give you guys some stats on fighters that moved up to different weight classes and it worked out. All right. Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez moved up to the weight class, worked out. Amanda Nunez versus Chris Cyborg moved up to the weight class, it worked out. Let me see. DC versus Stipe, light heavyweight versus heavyweight, moved up to a heavier weight class. It worked out. So, in other words, folks, it could definitely happen because it happens all the goddamn time. But you got something else in that other corner, man. Islam Makhachev is on an 11 fight win streak, and this is just a different pedigree. He's big for the weight class. Volkanovski's small in his own weight class. Now you're coming over to a bigger weight class. But wait. Volk used to play rugby, running around like 230 pounds, right? He sure did. But that was rugby, folks, and that was football, or whatever you want to call it. That ain't MMA. It doesn't really translate like that. Islam's pedigree, when it comes down to it, man, I think he's literally identical of Khabib, and I think his intensity might even be a little bit more there than Khabib. Khabib just kind of lets you fight your fight until he wants to go for it. Islam just goes for it and ends it real quick. The opening odds, man, yeah, he opened up like a minus 300, minus 320, got all the way up to a minus 400. I'm him. I'm that guy. Yeah, man. I put money on Islam straight up. 300, minus 300 on him. Give it to me, man. I tried to
Damn.
tell y'all last fight, man. I tried to tell y'all last fight. Y'all getting Islam Makhachev for a minus 160, minus 175. That's a steal. You will never see that price tag again. Play it. People didn't hammer it. Why? Because he didn't even close out a minus 200 favorite on there. It was the lowest you could ever get him. He's never going to be lower than a minus 300 favorite against anybody. So yeah, I'm the guy, man. I played Islam straight on there. I parlayed him with a lot of stuff already too. So I'm all invested in Islam on this fight. The thing about it is this though, like I said, anybody betting Volk, you damn right, man. You should and you better be, man. Like I said, he hasn't lost. And like I said, he hasn't lost, and the plus 300 is disrespectful. But I remember seeing Volk versus Chad Mendes. I was actually at that fight live. Didn't know who the hell Volkanovski was, but he got my respect in that fight. Chad Mendes was a big favorite in that fight. Had him parlay. We were winning too. Took his back. Looked like he was about to choke him out and submit him. Wasn't able to. But the key point is he took his back in that fight. Brian Ortega, you know what I mean, versus Volk. What was Volk famous for? Not tapping when he was in there about to choke him out, right? In other words, in that position again. So when you're putting yourself in those vulnerable positions and you're getting out of them, guess what, Brad? You're not gonna always be lucky all those times. And like I said, Islam, he has that grip of something different, man. Like when he touches you, like Bobby Green said, he's just said, I knew it was something different. So yeah, man, I think this is gonna be one of the better super fights out there. But there's plenty of keys to pass for Volkanovski, man. He's so short, he's so quick. It's gonna be hard to grab him because Islam's so used to grabbing people by the waist and locking up them there. He's gonna be grabbing them at the shoulders and over the top of the head. So it's gonna be a little bit more different on there. If Volkanovski can get this to go later rounds and keep putting on that volume, we can see something, folks. But I got Islam Makhachev winning in round four at the 2 minute and 38 second mark.
Damn, 238. Shit, so you think he finishes him?
Yeah, man. I'm on record saying he'll be the first one to finish Volkanovski in the UFC.
All right, this is how I see it. All right. So these days, the UFC judges they favor damage over a grappling. We seen it like the Sean O'Malley Peter Yan fight, things like that. So look, I think Islam's gonna get Volkanovski down at points of this fight, but I don't think he's gonna be able to keep Volkanovski down. That may sound crazy, and Volkanovski I think is gonna have the success on the feet. The judges see that they're gonna give the rounds to Volkanovski. You know, and let's say Islam holds him down for a minute, but the other 4 minutes Volkanovski's peppering up on the feet. He's gonna win those rounds, and I think Volkanovski maybe gets 3 of those rounds. It goes into a decision. They give it to Volk on his home turf, and then there's gonna be controversy. Everyone's gonna be like, "That's bullshit, robbery." That's how I see this fight going. It's gonna be a big robbery thing. Volk's gonna get the
But so,
decision
so you
on
see it going to decision though.
if Volk wins. This is like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
whole
yeah.
story
Got
right
it,
here.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I see this shit going. I mean, I just feel it. I like Volkanovski getting these odds. Gun to my head, I'm probably gonna take Islam. Don't get me wrong, but I'm looking for some cash. You could also get you could get Volkanovski via decision plus 650 too. So I'm gonna that's the bet I'm taking in this one. I'm gonna lay maybe a 50 piece on Volkanovski via decision, and just hope for the best on that one. So, I'm all about the value here. And yeah, man, I think this is gonna be a controversial one, but I think Volkanovski gets a win on his home turf. You can see
Nah,
that happening though, right? You see that storyline?
I could easily see it
Yeah.
happening, but not even this though. I could see it happening, but not even like a robbery on it. Just a like a all right, man. When it comes down to it, all right. Volk had 31 strikes. Islam had 17 or 21. In this round.
Hmm.
So I could definitely see it happening. Like I said, like and Volk done impressed me and showed me wrong so many times now to where I'm just it took me, I think, till after his Ortega fight to where I was finally like, okay, you're really that good. You know what I mean? Before that, I'm just like, yeah, what are you guys talking about? Best pound for pound, pound. I'm like, bro, what are you? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, so it took me a while, man. And then afterwards, I looked back and I was like, dang, bro. I'm like, he's been doing this, like, and just
Yeah.
getting better. It's
Yeah.
weird. I'll be honest. The reason why he don't get that credit too, watch this. It's just like DJ. It's because they're small.
Yeah.
That's it. Like if they weren't short, we would be like, bro, look at this, look at the way he's striking, look at this. It's because he's short and
Yeah.
small, so we don't really see it the same compared to Sugar O'Malley out there doing spinning shit, but might not even have the same finish rate as Volk, or probably does though. But the thing I'm saying is like it's easier for us to see, of course, a taller guy doing it. So like, when a smaller guy's doing it, like Demetrius Johnson, Volkanovski, it don't seem like those guys are getting that credit and everything, but they're actually doing amazing stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was a Volkanovski hater too. I mean, I'm a Max Holloway guy, so just watching my boy get his ass whooped all those times,
Right,
it hurt. It hurt. I was like, what's up with this
right,
guy Volk?
right,
But I was able to
right.
settle with that. Understand that's the finish chapter. I like Volk. I mean, the dude's a winner. And another thing is he's 4 inches shorter than Makhachev, but actually has a reach advantage, which is pretty crazy. He's got them arms. It makes no sense, but yeah, man, I'm pumped for the fight. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that yeah, man. That it's gonna be some good ones, man. The prelims, like I said, it's not really too many hard hitters on there or anybody that you guys are gonna really know of on there. You got a lot of like UFC contender series fighters and a lot of guys that's just from Australia that's pretty much fighting on the card. But I'll go ahead and start it off, with my best prop on the card. My
Hmm.
best prop on the card is gonna be the Clinton Rodriguez fight versus Shannon Ross. I'm gonna go with that fight not to go the distance, and you can get that at a -110 out there. So yeah, Clayton Rodriguez versus Shannon Ross fight not go the distance at a -110.
I like that. I'm going. Let's go. Let's go. Tyson Pedro versus Modestus. Fight won't start round three, or yeah, round three won't start -140. Little juice, but I think we see a finish there.
Okay, okay. My best dog on the card, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a prelim dog. Blake Builder versus Shane Young. +115, +120 out there. Just wait a little bit too. More money's gonna come in on Shane Young, I believe. But I'm gonna take Blake Builder in this one. So yeah, you can get a +115, +120 out there. It's the second fight on the night too. And it's not like it's not the dog that I'm trying to tell y'all to really like go out there and bark about. But just looking at the card, I do have another dog or two, but you know how that go, Brad. You know
I know how that goes. All right, I'll go. Let's go, Josh Emmett. I'll go Josh Emmett as my dog in this one.
got it. All right, how does Josh Emmett win? Just decision or round?
He sleeps him. Sleeps him.
Please from
Round
yeah.
round two.
What round? Round. Well, God damn. Okay, he ain't
Josh Emmett
wasting no
sleeps him round
time. I
two.
like that.
Yeah,
All right, cool, 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 cool.
I think.
Um, Lottery pick parlay. I got a 2-1. I got a two leg for you out there. It's -130. But it's something I bet myself too. I bet it a little bit earlier when one of the fighters wasn't as juiced. So I definitely got it a little bit better. I got it at like +105, but same thing to me. -105, +105, -130. Hey, it's all good. Go ahead and take Luma and go ahead and take Clayton Rodriguez. Parlay both of them and get you some money.
Alrighty, I'm locking my parlay in right now. Let me see what these odds are. I'm gonna go Clayson as well. and then I'm gonna throw in Madalena. Where's that shit at? Let's see how much this is gonna give me. I don't even see this thing on DraftKings.
I'm right here. Go ahead. Just those two, or just you got another
Okay.
one?
It's minus
Right.
137. I don't love that. Let me throw something else in here.
Yeah,
Give me
because
something.
usually, yeah, you always get see, Brad. That's the difference, bro. I always do the kind of the chalky parlay -120, -140. I just want to win. Usually, get the people something positive and plus money. So let's
Yeah.
keep
All
that
right.
train.
All right. All
You need
right.
to
All
add
right. So
one.
I'll go those two. Let me get. I'll throw Justin Toffa on there as well. See
Justin
that is
Taffa.
plus 207. Not bad.
You like that one over
Oh, this way,
Tyson
not Justin
Pedro?
Toffa. That's who I
I'm
went.
like,
Tyson Pedro.
yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Because I
Hell
was
no.
like,
I'm not
uh,
putting Justin Toffa on
whew,
that shit. There's no way in hell.
I was like, all right, I could only do so much over here, you know.
He was like, "Yo, you sure about that?"
I'm like,
Um,
you sure you want to do that over the Tyson?
let's go
But
Tyson
yeah, if you
Pedro.
do those, that's a 3 leg parlay. On my book is +141. So on your guys' book it's probably a little bit higher. But yeah, you parlay all three of those +140 parlay to get you paid, right?
I just locked that in, so that's what I'm rolling
I'm,
with. So,
I'm locking it in too though, because that's
all
what
right,
I'm
let's
saying.
ride
Like,
that shit.
yeah, that's a. I'll be honest. Like, so when you guys see like fighter parlays, the parlay fighters on -300 and stuff, usually exclude Tyson Pedro, usually all the time. But watch this. He's not 300. He's only -230. So it's okay in this one, folks. But yeah, Tyson Pedro before, 4 years ago, -500, parlay
Nah,
shitter. Minus
hell no.
500,
Yeah.
parlay shitter. So he's known for it. But like I said, we're going to slide with that rule. And I'm playing it too, man. Because, yeah, Jack Della definitely got the tools to win. So, like it,
Yep.
man.
Let's ride. All righty.
All right,
Anything
man.
else, boss?
Nah, man, that's about it, man. Appreciate everybody for watching this, man. We're just gonna try to keep a consistent schedule with you guys. So it's either gonna be right at this time on Thursdays, or else it might be a little bit later on Thursday nights. So just stay tuned for it to see exactly how we can get it. But hey, appreciate everybody out there. They say it like this: if you don't ask, they won't do it. So hit that like right now. Yeah, you, and you.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.